Nee, schrik maar niet, ik wil je niet verlaten. Nee. Er is iets en ik kan er niets aan doen. We komen niets tekort, we hebben alles. Een kind, een huis, een auto en elkaar. Maar weet je, lieve schat, wat het geval is? Ik zoek iets meer, ik weet alleen niet waar. Is dit alles? Is dit alles? Oh, is dit alles wat er is? Oh, is dit alles? Is dit alles? Oh, is dit alles wat er is? Oh, we zijn nu net een stuk in 13 delen. Aan het einde zijn we allemaal de kloos. We leven trouw het leven van zoveel. Oh, oh, oh. Ik wil iets meer, ik wil een beetje los. Is dit alles? Is dit alles? Oh, is dit alles wat er is? Oh, 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 oh. Is dit alles? Ja, is dit alles? Oh, is dit alles wat er is? Oh, 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 bam, but did do bad boy boy. We baby you better do it nobody day. Boy do the day do bad did no day. Better know about did you do that did. Is dit alles? Ah, is dit alles wat er is? Oh, 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 is dit alles? Is dit alles? Is dit alles wat er is? Oh, is dit alles? Oh, is dit alles? Oh, 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 is dit alles? Ja. Is dit alles? Is dit alles?
Great.
Yeah.
Ladies and
Oh, what a wonderful
gentlemen,
band.
great band. I was thinking, wow, this is almost about the band instead of Fay, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's so much fun. It's so much fun, this piece.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my beautiful guest, Fay Claassen. And Fay and I had a long talk a week or two ago, and so we got to know each other a little bit. But just a lovely person and a really great singer, and it's exciting to have her on the show. Really, really nice. Thank you for coming on, Fay.
Yeah, thank you, Cathy, for inviting me. I mean, coming over to LA, not, but staying here in Cologne.
Now, I think you might be a little far from your mic.
For my mic.
Yeah, a little bit far away. So maybe can you, yeah. That's okay. We don't mind
Yeah?
seeing the mic. Yeah. Great. Thank
So
you.
it's wonderful to be your guest. I'm excited.
Me too. I'm excited. So this is really great because Fay lives in Cologne, and she works with several of the premier orchestras, jazz orchestras in the world. And which is already, I mean, just saying that, we almost don't have to talk anymore because just saying that is huge. Just shows how well respected you are and what a great singer you are, because otherwise you wouldn't be associated with those people. So let's just go to that for a minute. When did that start? When did your association with the orchestras start?
I mean, with the VDR Big Band, I had contact with Michael Abeni, the chief conductor of the VDR Big Band. He's a arranger also. Everybody knows him. He's a very great, big musician in America, lives in New York. And he was at a certain time, I met him in the Conservatory of Amsterdam. I was doing the summer workshops there. They organized the summer workshop for people outside of the school. And I was one of the teachers, international teachers. It was a cooperationship with the Manhattan School of Music. So Michael came over, and Dick Oates, and like a lot of teachers. And so I was there, and I was teaching in a group of singers. And I was waiting for somebody to come in to accompany. And then a man came in, and he sat at the piano, and he was like playing, and I was like, wait a minute, this is something else, like I was like immediately waking up and getting goosebumps and like, this is other chords and another flavor of layer of music. And so right away I was like, well, who are you? You know? And so that's the first impression, the memory about Michael. And yeah, we several singers could sing with him, which I thought was a luxury. And maybe we also did something. And that was the first meeting with him. And later on, he was for quite some years. I think it was 12 years. He was uh, connected with the VDR Big Band. And so my husband is the saxophonist in this film that you saw. Actually, it's nice that you picked this tune, because really one of my dear musicians are in the band. In the rhythm section was partly my band, so I could also pick some of the guys from Holland to bring with me. At the piano, Cor Bakker, who I play with in duo a lot, and the guitarist Peter Thiehuis, which is an unbelievable guitarist. He plays in the Metropole Orchestra. So, and the bass player who played with Toots Tielemans for many years. And this is like a part, I mean, the Peter Thiehuis and Theo de Jong, the bass player and the guitarist, they are part of my band now. So they were with me, and my husband is in the band. And actually, so it was really a very, yeah, like a lot of people together that I really love. So it's a very special recording. So, and Michael got an invitation to do Improvise One. And that was a concert with Paquito de Rivera.
Oh.
And so that was the first time he invited me to do like instrumental tunes together with Paquito.
Oh.
And I believe I had like 4 songs to do on my own. So it was a couple of tunes that I did with the orchestra and the big band and Paquito. And it's like 2007. There's also a few YouTubes online of that. And it was a very, very beautiful production, actually. So that's where it started. And after that, the management of the VDR Big Band asked me to do an complete other, like an own program. And it's like a carte blanche. That is really a fantastic gig if you have that. You know, you can pick your tunes. Yeah, you can work with a fantastic arranger. And that's, as you say, that's really the best thing that you can have. You know, it's wonderful. And so the first time I was guest, that was with Michael. And I was really right away completely in love with his arranging. So
Right.
I had to have Michael in front of the band, but also arranging all the tunes. And we did a project with like in focus all my female wonderful strong singer women, to you know, to honor them. And it's called Like Sing, this project. So
Oh.
that was kind of the first production that I got with VDR Big Band. So
Did you, I can imagine, I mean, you already had been obviously a professional singer and working a lot, but that was quite the win, you know? I mean, it was
Yeah.
having them invite you and having that luxury.
Yeah.
Yeah, were you kind of blown away?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but I mean, to sing with Paquito de Rivera was really also. I
Yeah.
had a couple of overwhelming productions, I must say. There's some more really very special stories about the invitation of Bob Brookmeyer, singing with the Metropole Orchestra, and Bob Malak, with the wonderful music of Ivan Paduart. And that was, I believe, in 2006 or something. So it was shortly before that we played in Brussels. And so, yeah, that it is of course unbelievable if you sing with a whole orchestra. You know, you're like yeah, you carry it, and it's so, yeah, it's like really big.
Right. You know, I want to ask you something as a singer as well. So when you have you, let's see, how do I put this? When you're singing with a big band or an orchestra, um, do you feel obviously there's the arrangements, right? And do you feel locked in too much, or do you specifically treat it as a particular way of thinking, like more free? I know Nancy King, when she did with the Metropole, you know, her accompanist, her longtime accompanist, told the arrangers, "This is Nancy King. She's going to just do what she wants. So
Yeah.
don't lock her in, you know." But
Yeah.
how do you feel about that?
Oh, I really was checking in the arrangement. That's why I also loved working with Michael, because he knew exactly that in the theme you have to have passages that you have to have freedom to make your phrasing and do your story with it, and your creativity in your interpretation. But that was the fun for me, to exactly know where I want to be with the band, with the rhythm, and where I have the freedom. So I was preparing a lot for instance, for this this production Sing, where I really had a very wide range of styles actually in this. So I really had a lot of kind of tunes, you know. So I really was preparing that like for months, you know, to really grow into where I wanted to be free and where I wanted to really be inside the band, you know. So yeah, I didn't feel really limited with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. By the
It's
way,
always a fine line, huh?
there is a
Where
fine,
is
yeah, it
it?
is a fine line. Yes.
I mean, with the harmony, it's. I love all kinds of music, but that's what I like so much, that you have. There's always a fine line of that there is structure or like form,
Yeah.
and where you are free, you know, in
Yeah.
music. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
It is a beautiful thing. I mean, that idea in itself is an idea that I always apply to Japanese culture, because
Yeah.
they do that a lot. Like for instance, in their backyard, they may have a very limited space, and within that space, they build a garden that, if it's created well, it creates this universe. But it's just in this small, this small garden, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
But the art of it is to create this space and universe. It's
Yeah.
just, it's kind of fascinating. I think their culture is really reflects that in various ways, and I think that's why they love jazz too, because
Oh yeah.
you know there's the form, and within the
Yeah.
form there's the freedom.
Yeah, and it's so strange. I mean, it's for me very hard to speak about it in English. I hope I'm doing a little bit well, because my English is really rusty. You know, here in Germany. I come from Holland, but the funny thing is that lately I've been talking more English because I work with a new publicist.
Oh,
And he's from Australia, so I have to really talk more English. So I hope I do well, and I hope you forgive me if I'm looking for words.
that's
But
okay. No
I,
problem.
I it's so funny, because the first picture that I get when you say the gardens of Japan is that when I went to Japan, they had these trees, and they really bonded every how do you say that, like
Branch, every branch.
the benches, they were like really bonded, and at certain places then it could grow, you know. So they're also very like yeah, it's like they want to have it in a certain aesthetic way. And I also love that very much. I really love the Japanese culture very much, and um, the
Yeah,
clothes and everything. So
I know
I
the
loved
organic
everything.
culture is really beautiful. That's why I traveled there many years, and I enjoyed traveling out of the cities mostly. You know, like
Oh,
the the
the
islands.
cocoa.
Yeah, the islands in Japan are
Oh,
the farmers and stuff, and those people just have the old perspective, and there's some kind of a there's some kind of ethics there that I can't quite put my finger on, but I feel it. Well, I mean, I think any indigenous people probably have that. There's a
yeah,
connection to the earth, and there's a way of
yeah.
living and looking at things that is very deep and ethical,
Mhm.
you know.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
wish I wish, that we could have that more and more, even in the cities, but I don't know if that's ever
Mhm.
going to be possible, you know.
Isn't that also such a sense of beauty, huh? Like
Yeah.
doing things beautiful and yeah, like making almost everything to art, you know?
Yes.
Even the
Yes.
bowing, even the way of yeah. I was also very surprised or like really amazed how um, when we went out for dinner, that somebody who invited us was really waiting until we had eaten a little bit or more actually. then he started to eat, like I was like, wow, how modest can you be, it's very wonderful actually. You learn something from that.
I know. Actually, one of my favorite movies is, strangely enough, with Tom Cruise, and it's called The Last Samurai.
Oh,
And it
yeah,
was, took place in World War One, and I'm sure it's pretty much a true story about the last samurai. How the
yeah.
samurais died out, and
Mhm.
it was really beautiful how he came to. Uh, he was a prisoner first with this group of samurais who lived out in the country, and
Yeah,
so of course he was resistant at first, but then he started noticing everything, and he
yeah.
was an ethical person himself, so he started seeing all this, and then of course got won over. It's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
um by the way, you have greetings from, now here's my pronunciation bad, greetings from Harksted, Brono Ackerman.
Ah!
Did I pronounce that
Oh,
wrong?
wonderful that he's listening. Because he said like have fun, and I said, okay, what about maybe do you have time? So that's very nice that he's looking. So hi, Bruno. And I love the people that are following me and writing me all the time. There's like this like the middle, like the heart fans, or like people that are really all the time sending nice messages, and they give me really a lot of hope, and also they support me in that sense also.
Lovely.
I know that there is so little going on now
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
concerts. I was singing 60 concerts per year, about.
yeah,
It's like from there to like everybody, I guess.
yeah,
It's
yeah. You also, Steve Taylor is here, and he said, "Hi, you're one of my favorite singers. I first heard
oh
you on the radio show European Jazz Stage. Is it true you studied with Deborah Brown and Rita Ray's?"
that's a nice question. Actually, Deborah Brown was the reason that I started doing the jazz studies. And she was really the first singer that I was completely blown away from. I heard her on a Dutch broadcast, Troll Session, they had a regular concert, and she was playing with Horace Parlan there, I believe. And at Thigpen, remember, and it was so amazing how she sings. She has such a light and beautiful, flexible voice, and doing like the beautiful interpretations, but also improvising and so free. I mean, that was absolutely my first live example in singing. I really honor her. But I never studied with her. I had 3 lessons with her and learned a lot from her. But yeah, I was studying with great teachers. Rachel Gould. I studied with her like for 4 years. I had 1 year with Judy Niemek.
Ah.
And 1 year with Ineke Heiliger. She's a great teacher in Holland on a conservatory in The Hague. And I studied with Marjorie Barnes, who's also a fantastic singer and a great person. And I really learned a lot from her too, you know, also about swing. But actually the main teacher that I had for jazz was Rachel Gould. And I must say that my teachers are very, very important for me. I also learned a lot from Rhiannon. She's a singer from San Francisco.
Now Hawaii.
Or she's now living in Hawaii and doing all her lessons. I really learned a lot from her too. You know, I did some workshops in Amsterdam. I was going there because I wanted to meet her, and I heard 1 week like she was singing in a great club in Amsterdam at that time. They had like a whole week, like one artist coming, and so I went there every day, and I was like, how can a singer be so expressive and deep and versatile and it was like, that was so wonderful. So I was lucky to really have great teachers. Also, I mean, this is only on the vocal level, and I also had other teachers, but actually also classical teacher, classical opera singer, like James McCrae. He was like a real opera singer doing the Wagner, you know, like the Parsifal.
Yeah.
2 hours on the stage, and whoa.
Ooh.
So I had some lessons with him too.
I was wondering, we have some Spotify things, and boy, some of the stuff was just so good. You sent me a Luck Child and 2 portraits of Chet Baker, standards, Sing. You sent me Sing, and then with a broad choice, and also the Crush. Which one can I play? Which one should I play right now?
Yeah. Well, maybe something older, like the Chet Baker record, and then which song shall we do? Maybe Almost Blue.
Okay.
It's not so joyful, but it's like a beautiful song, I think. It's Elvis Costello. And I was like so magnified by the version of Chet.
Right. I forget. Oh, yeah. I listened to Poinciana from this.
Oh yeah, that's also a nice one, eh? But it's instrumentally.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So I'm sorry, which song were you mentioning?
Let me see.
Is this all are there
Almost
25 songs on this?
It's the double CD.
Oh.
The first CD is only the pianoless quartet of Jerry Mulligan, you know, like this these themes and all instrumental music. And the other CD is with all the songs. So I like Almost Blue very much.
All right, let's listen to that one.
And actually, the piano player who's playing there, the intro, I mean, the piano player is really touching my heart. It's Karel Bollet. He's also teaching in Amsterdam, and he's in my band.
Excellent. Okay, here's Almost Blue.
Almost blue, almost doing things we used to do. There's a man here and he's almost you. Almost all the things that you promised with your eyes, I see in his too. Now your eyes are red from crying. Almost blue. Flirting with this disaster became me. It named me as a fool who only aimed to be almost blue, almost touching, it will almost do. There's a part of me that's always true, always. All the things that you promised with your eyes, I see in his too. Now your eyes are red from crying. Almost blue. Almost blue, almost touching, it will almost do. There's a part of me that's always true, always. All the things that you promised with your eyes, I see in his too.
are some powerful lyrics. Wow.
Yeah. It also, this is music that really
Oops,
touches.
sorry. Sorry. Okay, there I go. Okay.
No, I was saying that this, yeah, this is also music that really touches me, you know, like it's like very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. Just beautiful.
Yeah, but I was listening to your music. We were exchanging music and links, and I really loved your lyrics that you write, and it's something that for me is very new to do, you know, like to write my own songs. But I see where it's so, yeah, deep and coming from you, and I was very happy to listen to your music, Cathy.
Thanks. Thanks, Faye. Yeah, the writing it's an interesting feeling writing, especially lyrics, because you see how you think. It's right out there on the page. And yeah, there have been moments when somebody has said, well, it's a little too abstract. And I'm like, well, that's how I am. I'm a little too abstract, so that's how my lyrics are, and yeah, because I don't really have a huge interest, maybe it's foolish, but to, go out there and make money from my lyrics, and I mean, I wouldn't turn it down, but that's not my purpose,
Yeah.
and so,
Yeah.
and then every now and then, just like with singing, you hook into the muse, it's like, there it is, you're there, and you're just writing everything, and it's in this capsule that's, and you sit back away, and it's like, that's it. That is the communication,
Wonderful.
that's really fun. I like doing that.
Yeah, well, you did great stories, and really, I mean, I really love the tune also about your sisters.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Really goosebumps.
That one actually did come out very in what I was just talking about. It was like a capsule that I was writing in, and it was kind of, okay, that's it. That's
Yeah.
that's what I have to say, And
Yeah.
yeah,
But
that
I
was,
was actually, do you have like two twin sisters?
well, yes, I had twins. They were 4 years older than me, and they both died.
Oh yeah.
So I wrote that afterwards, obviously, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of a heartbreaking song, and it's
Yeah.
sometimes very difficult to sing live,
Yeah.
especially if I look at any friends at all. Oh boy.
I can imagine that. That's too close, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but I felt it also. I really felt the emotion.
yeah.
That I really find that so important, emotion in music, you know. That I think it's my way to express, you know.
Yeah. Well, I
Music
was
is
going to say on that
yeah.
song, the way that you sung, it's sometimes it's hard and maybe not even necessary to describe these things in words, but the way that you sung that song, I guess it felt very truthful and very you were communicating exactly what it was about. And you can't say that for every singer, some singers just don't get that. No matter how much they mess around with phrasing, that song, there was that one line in there. It's like a kill line. What is it? It's like, I'm sorry, I can't remember, but I mean, wow, that song, the lyrics are really deep.
Heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that song too. Yeah, and also to sing it. Yeah, and then the band, and we were all, like we were all at the same level, exactly in the same story. That's so beautiful of music. I find it this connection that you, when you have connection in the music, and you know, like there is form and there's, you know, like the chords, and once we're all at the same line, then you can fly, you know.
Yeah.
It's very mysterious thing, you know, that you can get loose of the stuff. Yeah.
It's a wonderful, really a wonderful thing.
Yeah, actually that was it's a quite an old recording. Obviously I sound really younger, huh? I mean, it was 2006, I think, and yeah, when it came out, it was 2006, so it's quite a long
Yeah,
time.
that was a while ago. Yeah. We have Beryl Hart is here from London, loves your musicianship. We must hear an example of your scat, The Touch of Your Lips. Is that a song that you recorded?
Yeah, that's true. Actually, also on this same recording, or I can also do like a line from that Michael Abeni wrote on the Red, Hot and Blue, like the Cole Porter CD. And it's like, you'd be so nice to come home to. It's like a line that he wrote. And so I did a lot of that thing too, you know, like being an instrumentalist and singing along with the piano. And it's a lot of fun, and it's a little bit like,
Let's do that. Where is that?
so that is on Red, Hot and Blue.
Is that on Spotify or YouTube?
That's on Spotify.
Okay. So Red, Hot, and Blue. Yeah. Okay.
All arrangements are from Michael Abeni.
All right. So, and which song?
Let's do You'd Be So Nice to Come Home To.
Okay.
And then you have a little bit of impro and live.
Okay.
You'd be so nice to come home to. You'd be so nice by the fire while the breeze on high sang a lullaby. You'd be all that I could desire under stars chilled by the winter, under the August moon burning above. You'd be so nice, you'd be paradise to come home to come home to come home to. And love, you'd be so nice to come home to.
Yeah. Woo.
Ah,
Good, man. That was really good.
thanks. And I was just looking for the touch of your lips that Beryl wanted to hear, but I was not sure if it was from the record with the Chet Baker songs, or that it could also be the one that is on YouTube, and it's like it's like a television show, a live television show. Maybe that was also a very nice version. Could
Yeah.
be. I'm not
Okay.
sure, but,
That I have to say that bass player is so friggin' swinging.
don't you think so? Yeah, he's my brother-in-law,
Oh,
Ingmar Heller.
oh my
He's
God.
amazing. Yeah,
Totally.
yeah.
Wow.
I'm married into a very good family. It's like my husband and his brother, Paul Heller, and his brother Ingmar Heller. They're both wonderful musicians, really, really amazing musicians. And they both are in radio orchestras. That's also very funny. I mean, Paul is in the WDR big band, and Ingmar is playing in the NDR big band. A little bit shorter, but yeah, he's there.
Yeah. Tell him for me. Wow.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Thank you.
Woo.
I will say that to him.
Wow. That was just amazing. Let's see. You have Dan Wielden. Hi, Fay, another fan here, a jazz pianist from England. Apart from the Cole Porter CD, which I love, I also love the Chet CD with Carol Hine. I think you always pick my favorite musicians to play with. Also, Ivan Padwart and Diedrich Whistles, David Length.
Oh, wow.
I absolutely love the purity of your voice and your sense of groove and musicianship. I
wow.
couldn't agree more, Dan. And Rick Scruggs is here, and he says, excellent, apologizes for being late. Love your music, Faye.
Oh, wonderful. What a heartwarming evening this is. Thank you all. I mean, really, it's doing me very good. Thanks.
Oh.
Really great.
Yeah, Rick apparently is from Seattle. He said to come visit.
Yeah, come by to Cologne.
Yeah. Boy, if you ever come this way, you must come to Los Angeles. I mean, you'd thrill people so to death, you know.
Yeah, the thing is, I would like to do that, you know, and visit maybe one time Los Angeles and one time New York. So it's still in like a dream for me. It's always a matter of that you have something, you know, like I was invited at the Humber College in Canada. So because of the like the corona, it didn't happen. It was like last year. So and then it's always good to organize something around it, So
Yeah, well, there's quite a number of things on the West Coast and up into Canada as well.
yeah,
I mean, I could definitely send you some things your way and to check into. But I think
yeah,
once everything gets back to working, I think that you could make a nice tour on the West Coast.
that would be
You know,
wonderful. Also with there's so many great musicians, So I could also work with people from where you are.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. There's some
Sure.
LA has an, I
Love
always
to.
say it has an embarrassment of riches of musicians.
Oh
LA
yeah.
has an unbelievable community. Yeah.
Actually, I know also Tierney Sutton, and I
Oh,
met her band and we traveled to Paris, she had a
cool.
gig there and she sang through my microphone and Ivan was there. Ivan was playing piano. And so I drove the band actually in my old Peugeot. It's like an old 305 Peugeot without, like how do you
Oh
call it?
yeah, without it's manual, right?
It
It's
was a manual.
yeah.
Like I still have scarves on my hand, like from the heavy steering wheel. And I was like, I was traveling so much, like so many driving, here from Holland to Brussels a lot, and then to Paris a lot, and doing that everything with my old car. Now I'm fine, but I used to have like this old car, which was really a cool one actually. I love Peugeot also.
Yeah.
And in
Well,
Holland, you can tour almost on a bike. It's so small.
Yeah, well, I can definitely, instigate some things for you. So please, keep that in mind.
Wonderful. Thanks,
Yeah.
Cathy. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people would absolutely flip out. So, um, where you grew up, where did you grow up?
I grew up in a town called Nijmegen in Holland. So
Okay.
it's quite, I mean, Holland is small, so you have like Amsterdam and a little bit more south in the east. You have, yeah, my town was there. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And did you grow up in a musical family or?
Musical, yes. My mother sang as she was younger, but not really in a jazz family. Not like my husband. He was really, he grew up with jazz and starting at the age of 6, listening to all records and really building that up and playing several instruments, starting the drums and play the bugle and then turn to the tenor sax. But I was actually, my grandmother was a singer, not professionally because she could not study at that time. It was only one person could study in a family. And so she didn't have that chance to do that, but she was a wonderful coloratura soprano, like the very high,
Yeah.
beautiful voice. And yeah, actually, I was dancing and I was dancing because I wanted to go to the theater school. And so at the age of 18, I did audition in Amsterdam in it's called like the Kleinkunst Academy. And it's basically like, it's not the musical direction, but more like the stand-up comedian or like the one-man show theater school. Not only playing, but yeah, forming your own program around you. That was the theater direction that I wanted to go to.
Yeah.
And once I started there, I met somebody that liked jazz, and so that was the first time that I really started and listening to jazz music. And then I heard Deborah Brown. And for me, that was
Oh.
because the theater was yeah, it was a little bit disappointing. I was very young and yeah, was very insecure at that time. So at that point, I heard somebody just singing and telling everything, like the whole story, and being free and different flavors on the palette, you know, like doing that all with singing. And I said, that's what I want, you know. I was like right away, you know, that was Deborah Brown. So yeah, and I was really listening to every note and singing it exactly like her, you know, like really imitating the hell out of everything. So that was my the first steps into singing. And then I stopped my study in Amsterdam and I switched to the jazz studies, and I knew nothing. I really started out knowing nothing, you know. So, and I studied for 6 years in the Royal Conservatory in The Hague,
Yeah.
and had to learn everything. So yeah, it was very beautiful time, beautiful
Yeah.
period.
Yeah. Um, so obviously Deborah Brown you loved. And anybody else who was kind of a mentor, even if they weren't alive, you know, somebody you looked up to or loved the way that they sang?
Yeah, many singers, many musicians. Mentor, I had a piano teacher that was a long time a mentor for me. I also did a lot of improvisation lessons with him, like one-to-one. I also could choose a second main course, you know, for the conservatory to do like improvisation. So had lessons with him. That was very good. So Frans Else is his name, and actually Barry Harris,
Oh,
the great bebop pianist, he came to our school 9 years in a row every
oh,
year.
oh,
And yeah, that was very big influence on me. The way that he was in music, you know, the committing to the music, and the building up all the skills in music, and yeah, the love that you grow for the pure music, you know. I really learned a lot from that. And we actually also visited him in New York and went to his house and got to really know him, and that was wonderful. And yeah, always
yeah,
staying in touch.
he was a special man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Very
yeah, he
special.
is.
Yeah. Oh, you're getting a nice compliment here. Rick Scruggs said, I need to say this. Faye and Paul Heller, a match made in heaven. They complement each other so much.
Oh, Rick, you're also so, oh, you're so you know, faithful and always writing some nice things. And I really love the people that are around me, you know, and that they always give me some nice flowers and hearts, and you know, like giving me love, you know. It's yeah, we need that, you know.
We do need it, but also you reflect it. You're a lovely person, so, you know, that's what you pull in, that's what you attract.
Thank you. Well, I hope so. And but you know, I really, I mean, for me, music is, yeah. Actually, I have to record now a small video. There is a new initiative in Holland, and it's called Wij zijn Jazz. We are jazz, you know. And so I
Yeah.
have to describe in a small video, like really shortly, why I love jazz. And it's like, I don't know where to start. And, you know, like I'm thinking about it days, you know, what shall I say and how and first and who. And some people are doing it funny and other people are doing it very serious. And I'm like, what shall I do? So I don't know. I have so much time to think about it.
Those are difficult things to do, actually. They really are. Because,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I
can I
won't
ask
say
you
why because I don't
something,
want to put anything.
Kathy?
Huh?
Where do you come from? Which direction of the music?
You mean
You
why? Uh,
study, or where did it started for you? The jazz.
oh, yeah. Well, my dad was a sax player and my mom had sung, but she wasn't really singing when we were a lot, born and stuff. I mean, as a professionally or anything. But
Yeah.
and one of my sisters, well, both sisters sang and one played piano. So as I came up, my dad, I mean, when I was 4, I was going to rehearsals with him and flirting with the musicians.
Oh,
So, um,
wow.
yeah. So, and then I remember like painting the living room with my dad and listening to Ella Fitzgerald, and singing along. And so I had a lot of that. And then I started playing guitar and flute. And so that was my introduction to learning, how to read music. And then when I was in high school, my sisters being 4 years older and, one playing the piano. So we would perform for various things, and we always performed with my dad at family functions, so
Wow.
there was a lot of that going on. Then I went to Berkeley, but when I went to Berkeley, there was no vocal department. So I went
Oh,
for flute and arranging and composition. I was young. I was, in my late teens, and then I decided to go to, and I had already like in high school, I think I was starting to perform with other people too, other than my family. So, and then I just never, once I moved and everything, I just never stopped performing, even when people would say, oh, those club owners, they're such horrible people, and they're not
mm,
paying us. I just didn't care. It was like, oh, well, I'm still going to sing,
mm,
and that was, just my consistency was, as consistency is really
yeah,
it's a huge part of it. You're just whatever, you don't care, or you just keep one step in front of the other, you keep moving, and
yeah,
somebody finds you, Michael Abene comes and sits in on your class, and you know what I mean? One thing leads to another, right?
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, you have to be really consistent in this business.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Do
Yeah,
you
so
yeah,
you really are, you also started very early, like my husband, to really, you grow up with it. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
beautiful. I sometimes miss that, that, um, well, my both parents are very artistically. My father was an, like a paint art. How do you say that?
Painter, an
Painter,
artist, yeah,
painter.
fine artist or
Not
something.
a painter like a house, but
Right, right. A fine
one,
artist.
yeah, the fine artist.
Yes.
And my mother also was in the art academy, but she didn't do so much. I mean, not um, like professionally did anything with that, but she's kept painting now and then, so they both are very artistically, but not in music. So it's and my father is rhythmical and my mother sang when she was a little bit younger, so it's maybe coming more from my grandmother, like the singing. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to be on stage and I wanted to tell stories and give the emotion. And I have a kind of need, really a need. So this is the most difficult period of my life, to not be able to be on stage.
I totally understand. Actually, that's part of why I started this series because
Wonderful.
immediately I just felt like, what, how can I give something to people? Because
Wow.
there's nothing going on. So then I just thought,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to, actually, I first thought, well, I'm just going to get online and talk and invite people to talk. And then one of the first people who joined just online in the comments was Sina E. And I said, "Oh, Sina, do you want to come on Zoom with me?" And she did, and it was born.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
And thank you again, for inviting. It's really, yeah, it gives also, yeah, it gives so much for me at this moment, to talk with you, to connect and share something, it's positive. It's really nice. Great.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like it.
I think so too. It's really a
Yeah.
beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I think Michael Abene was probably the person who turned me on to you because he came on this show too. And yeah, he was really interesting to talk to. He's a self-taught musician. Did you know that?
Ah, that's amazing, huh?
It's crazy.
Yeah, and yeah, I really love his music. The way, I mean, he plays the piano very
Yeah.
free. Huh, also, I love that, and to play in duo. Actually, um, I'm working on a large album at the moment. It's gonna be like 2 LP with all kinds of tracks, and it's all live, and 8 CDs, and the eight
Oh,
CDs are
8.
eight, yeah,
Wow.
eight concerts, and it's going to be like a
Wow.
large live album with, I mean, 8 live concerts, and the 2 albums are like the best of, and some bonus tracks from recordings that was not enough to do a whole concert, but that were so nice to put on the record. So, and also I put
Wow.
one duo with Michael on it
Oh,
because it was really really nice. Yeah.
wait a minute. So hold on. Let me soak this in for a second. Is that project going to cost like $500 to buy or something?
No, no, not so much. It's gonna be. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
What the price will be, but it's gonna be like around 50 euros or something, probably. But all the money goes to two good, like two, how do you say that?
Charities or
Charities. One is the um, Alzheimer, because my father has Alzheimer, so
Mhm.
I put all the money there, and the kids cancer, Kika is it called, and it's supporting the cancer with kids. So because this is a project that I do with my old manager, and I worked with him for more than 20 years, and he wanted to do a project, for me to yeah, put this together, and it was so large and so complicated that we decided to really not get any money out of it, just put it all for the good charities, for the two good charities. So it's going to be like a wonderful thing.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I had a few questions that came up in my mind. I know you spoke, I think you spoke of writing lyrics. Do you compose songs?
Yeah, well, I do it not so much. So I really would like to do it more. But I started a little bit now. I have written, the first tune was kind of inspired by Betty Carter. It was kind of a tune for her. It's called Feel the Beat. It's very simple song, and the lyrics, it's more like a repetitive pattern, and it's playful, and there is another lyric that I write on the tune of Peter Thiehuis, so it's his tune, so it's his composition. And I have written a song for my father, but that's also born in the studio with improvising with the band, so something came from Karel Boulet on the computer, and and afterwards I worked that out, with the recording of that improvisation. So yeah, I have not so much experience with composing, so yeah,
Yeah.
it's slowly, but it's slowly coming, and I've written one tune about the shoes that carry the people. So like shoes, the one person is really heavy in the shoe and the other is so I have now, and there is one ballad that I wrote also the melody too. So, and it's yeah, it's a ballad, so that's it's gonna be nice. So
Great.
different kind of tunes, like really heavy tunes. The one for my father is called Schilderij van de Liefde. It's called like the painting of love.
Oh,
So
nice.
but it's gonna be in Dutch. Sorry.
I'll just have to get a translation.
Yeah, yeah.
That's very
Yeah.
nice. Very
But
nice.
I'm about to record all those tunes, and also my husband wrote a fantastic, beautiful song for me, and it's called "Good Times."
Huh.
And it's really, it's so beautiful. So, and the lyrics are, strangely enough, I don't write lyrics to my husband's tunes, and the one that is writing the lyrics, it's also American writer, Robin Malloy Goldsby, and she's the wife of the bass player in the VDR big band.
Oh,
So John Goldsby, he's a bass player of
oh,
the band.
cool.
So,
Cool.
and his wife is a wonderful writer, and I work regularly with her. Yeah, she's a real writer,
Yeah.
like it's for me, it's very slowly, and it's very hard process, to really get it right, and like I'm, as a singer,
Yeah.
I'm grown up, and as a writer, I'm like me. I'm still very small.
Well, I think, as a matter of fact, who was I speaking to? I think it was yesterday, my conversation with Dean Parks, his list of credits is unbelievable. He's a
Yeah.
studio musician and a bit of
Yeah.
a touring musician, but I was scrolling through his credits for probably 5 minutes while I was talking to him, and I didn't even get through the credits.
Oh,
I mean, that's how many, and very varied and stuff. And he writes very little, he composes very little. And we talked about that, and it's kind of like that, the feeling that, the feeling that needs to be quenched, the desire that needs to be quenched, or the thirst for writing, is taken care of because you're always creating, you're creating on somebody else's material, but still it's you creating. So, yeah, I mean, I think it would be, I would love to hear your compositions because of your
Yeah.
music, your musicality. But I mean, you're always creating.
yeah,
So,
that's true. And I also like that you also acknowledge that, like there is a profession, it's like composing, there is a profession arranging. It's not
Yeah.
to be underestimated. It's a real profession and an art form, So I mean, not everybody is maybe the highest artist in it, but I mean, Michael Benny is definitely it's an art form how he's writing, and Bob Brookmeyer, it's like an art, so it's a work of art, and then singing is also a work of art, or like can be an art, to sing it in detail, the nuances and the experience in telling a story, or improvising and reacting on the musicians, and
yeah, that definitely is an art. Can we hear the duo of you and Michael?
It's not out there.
Oh, okay.
So it's gonna be like new out,
Right.
so-
Can we hear is either on YouTube or Spotify, something small, like not with a not with a big arrangements, something more intimate?
Actually, I have something with Michael, and it's on Spotify on Red Hot and Blue. It's the last song. It's So in Love, but it's very
Okay.
long. Maybe you don't have to play it the whole.
Okay. All righty. I like to share the screen just so people can see where it's from.
Strange, dear, but true, dear. When I'm close to you, dear, the stars fill the sky. So in love with you am I. Even without you, my arms fold about you. You know, darling, why so in love with you am I. In love with the night mysterious, the night when you first were there. In love with my joy delirious, when I knew that you could care. So taunt me and hurt me, deceive me, desert me. I'm yours till I die. So in love, so in love, so in love with you, my love, am I. Strange, dear, but true, dear, when I'm close to you, dear, the stars fill the sky. So in love with you am I. Even without you, my arms around you. You know, darling, why so in love with you am I. In love with the night mysterious. In love with the night you were there. In love with my joy delirious, when I knew that you could care. So taunt me and and hurt me, deceive me, desert me. I'm yours till I die. So in love, so in love, so in love with you, my love and mine. In love with the night, mysterious, the night when you first were there. In love with my joy, delirious, when I knew that you could care. So don't me and hurt me, deceive me, desert me. I'm yours till I die. So in love, so in love, so in love with you, my love am I.
Wow, cool. That was great to listen to. Was that your husband?
Yeah, yeah, that was my husband,
Great
and
playing.
we were in the studio with this Cole Porter with the trio, and yeah, he sat in for that last song. You know, it was very loose. Yeah, nice session.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that was, yeah, your voice is really, I just really like listening to your sound. I mean, you know, aside from your, just talking about your sound, it's really, it's warm and it's warm and personal. It's not, you know, it's not coldly perfect or, you know, like I think we talked about that when we spoke. You know, there's some singers that are really like, you know, right there, you know, and but it leaves you kind of cold, you know, but your voice is warm and the tonality and the intonation are great, but it's there. I know another singer who sings like that too. It's surrounded by this kind of air or something, and it's quite nice. I really
Thank
love
you.
it.
Yeah, I mean the air thing is always something, you know, that I was busy with during the study already. They said like the teacher said like, yeah, you should not. I mean, for the classical lessons, you know,
Yeah.
you cannot sing with air on it. Yeah, but it's my physic, you know. It's
Yeah.
and I have to take good care of my voice. You know, I cannot, yeah, go go out until late at night before I have a gig. You know, but
Yeah.
so I really take care of it in a way that I can keep singing as light as possible, you know, and as nice as possible. So yeah,
I love it. Sounds great. Let's see. I had a question here from Mark. Let me see. Let's see, Mark.
I
Mark.
saw that question. Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
it.
about the
How can
CD.
you the how is the market for the CDs in Europe? Because in US you don't sell CDs anymore.
Well, it's pretty pretty low on the list. You know, some people will buy them, like my friend Dan Davila, who's on here. He loves to support the artist, and he has a lot. He gets CDs a lot,
Yeah,
but you know, I think the general public, especially the young people, they you know they're not really buying CDs. They're buying albums occasionally, you know, but CDs, you know, no.
yeah,
So
no, but I mean, Mark, it's in I think I cannot speak for the whole of Europe, but it's the same problem. Basically, you know, like you're. I think people don't realize that you are recording in a recording studio. Then you have to mix the music. It costs also a few days of work, and then you have to master it. And so where do you get your money from? So the whole market is changing. So we have to see where it leads us, because only the big names, they can get money from the streaming, you know, from the digital cell. Uh, so the smaller artists, or like the jazz, is suffering now from it, you know. So and I'm still making CDs because yeah, I'm just I'm too stubborn, you know. I'm just I'm continuing. Yeah, but you know, actually, yeah, it's a very big subject actually, because there is a lot of things changing anyway, you know. But it used to be like you're making a CD and investing money, and then you sell your CD at the stage, you know, where you have the concerts. And I used to have like 60 concerts a year, about 60 concerts, and wonderful concerts. And when you sell 50 CDs or something, you know, like every time it was actually okay, you know,
yeah.
going well. But yeah, obviously yeah, and it's also not everybody has a CD player anymore. So you have to switch to LPs and high quality digital recordings, you know, so that people can really listen on beautiful headphones, and they can lie down and drink a glass of wine and have the high res yeah, quality. I think it's going more there, that direction. And yeah, actually also the labels, you know, the whole structure is, yeah, is changing at the moment. So let's see where it goes to, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, it's very interesting. Apple, yeah, I know. Joyce says Apple no longer puts CD players in laptops. Yeah, that's been a long time. And how about cars? They've taken out the CD players out of
Yeah,
cars. I mean, really?
yeah,
Why? What possible reason could they actually have? They're not spending a
yeah,
little extra money to put the CD player in? It's really
yeah,
weird. That's a really weird one. I can't wrap my head around that. I mean,
yeah,
the laptops I can kind of understand, but the the cars, that is so weird. Um,
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they're gonna make a pickup in the car, you know, that you can put your records on.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, it's really crazy. I know I redid my kitchen, and before I had my 5 or 6 CD player in there, and I would put CDs in, and usually I'd listen to the same ones for about 2 weeks, which was great.
Yeah,
And then,
I know.
but now the kitchen is really refreshed. It looks very different, and we just felt like we didn't want to put the CD player in there, and so I moved my office into another room here, and so I put the CD player back here, which is quite nice to have it here. But um, and then in the kitchen, I have a speaker that I connect to Spotify, or I can connect it to my computer as well. And it's just a different, it's a different way of thinking. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just I have to wrap my head around a different way of listening to music, and
yeah, yeah.
not bad, but
But
it's
that's cool. You
definitely
can put just one speaker in your kitchen. It's
yeah,
cool. It's
yeah,
clean,
yeah,
and just there comes everything comes from out from there, you know,
yeah,
like yeah, it has something. But you know, the other thing is we still have to pay the production of a CD, you know. You have
yes,
to
we
pay,
do.
yeah, and also promotion. You have to
Yep.
promote it. So
It's a lot of money. Yeah. And we're
yeah,
not going to make it back even from
what are we
sales.
gonna do? How are we
Yeah.
gonna do? Otherwise, so well, it's of course great that people are supporting me by
Yeah.
ordering a CD, or you know, like still great, you know. But yeah,
Yeah. When you think about it, it's, um, there's really all, I mean, for someone like you or I, there's almost no way to make the money back of making the project. So, okay. So that leads to the question of why do we keep putting it out? And also, how do we make money? And how would we make money to replenish that money that we put out? Or do we? And, there's, I kind of believe, and maybe this is just too idealistic, but I kind of believe that there's a flow that exists in the universe, and outflow equals inflow. So it's not so much that it's not so direct. I made this record, here, you buy it from me. Now I have the money that I put into it, or part of the money. But more, it's a little different. It's a little more broad and a little more kind of part of the broad universe. It's like,
mhm.
I'm doing this, and then I'm getting back whatever I'm getting back. I mean, we
From
could
the back
kind of
door,
list the
comes
things.
back from the back door.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I hope so. And I just don't let it happen that I cannot do it anymore, you know, like that's also true, you know. I'm
yeah,
just some kind of way I just keep doing it, and until now it was going well, you know. So yeah.
yeah. Let's see. There was something else I wanted to ask you. Where did I write it down? Oh yeah. So you told me a little before we got on, but tell us about your new project or projects. I don't know. You may have more than one, but you were talking about with the other singer.
Oh yeah, with David Links.
Yeah, David.
David Links is a singer that I know already quite some years, and well, he's something. It's a real musical identity entity in Europe itself. He really created hundreds of tunes, and he partly wrote them with a piano player together. Sometimes the music came from the piano player, and he wrote lyrics to it. Diederik Wissels, that
Right.
yeah, that was mentioned before, you know, like
Yeah.
yeah, and so um, I got in contact with him via the music and via Ivan Padouar, who is a piano player from Brussels. And at some point, 2004 or 2003, I started playing with him and learning his tunes. He composed a lot of tunes, and David wrote lyrics to the tunes and sang them as well. So we sang a few times together in a club in Brussels, and I was like immediately, it's how can two voices be so well together? You know, like it's like brother sister. And so yeah, and then at some point, David and Diederik invited me and an Italian singer, Maria Pia De Vito. So in their band, they had a project and they wanted to invite two singers. So then it was like David Links, Maria Pia De Vito, and I were singing in the front and doing trios and duos and some things alone, you know. And it was under the name of David, and we toured for more than 3 years in France with that project. Really the wonderful festivals outside, you know, it's like France has the most beautiful festivals that you can imagine. And yeah, so I haven't seen him before, like now I hadn't seen him a long time, you know, this period. And I had an invitation to do another project with the VDR Big Band. So the manager, she asked me, what do you want to do then this time? And I said, yeah, I don't know, maybe something with somebody together, maybe this time, because I had already 2 productions with them alone. So I want to invite David, you know, and to sing his music and my music, and we combine our 2 repertoires. And yeah, he's a fantastic singer and writer, like poet, really a poet. So it was a lot of fun, and we did. I'm very happy that we had a production in the Corona period in September, last September. So we had to deal with the distances of rehearsing in a big studio with 1.5 meter, and the singers, they could not turn, and we had to stay like this and with a lot of room between each other. And the concerts that were supposed to happen didn't take place, but instead there we had a recording, and so we decided, let's make a CD out of it. Another CD.
Yeah. I was kind of looking, there is like the bridge between us and Crossroads. Is that one of the things you had done together?
The one that is that CD with David is called under his name, David Links and Diederik Wissels, and it's called One Heart, Three Voices.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry, it started without me.
Tune. That's an Ivan Padouar tune. Yeah.
Can we quickly listen to a little bit of this?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
One heart, 3 voices.
Let me just set that up here.
The distance always knew the bridge between us 2. There's not a way too long when there's tomorrow. There is no right or wrong. We sing what we must read. The bridge is in between a trail I let a dream begin and end with you. When love is wearing thin and almost through, the distance always knew. The bridge between us two. There's not a life too long when there's tomorrow. The promise always strong will linger on your mind. It's right above your head. You take a leap and vow. A little wish can change the here and now.
Up to your
Way up to your soul.
Sorry.
Love will do. The bridge is always there between us two.
goes
Gone back and forth from me to
Oh, hey. Did it keep going? No. Okay. I guess it
Oh,
ended
so it's
abruptly.
really interrupted. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's okay.
Wow.
That was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Wow.
The saxophone player is also a wonderful guy. It's not Paul, it's Toon Roos, and it's a wonderful Dutch saxophone player that I also worked with a lot of times, and wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. David Links.
Yeah.
Fantastic. David Links and you, fantastic. And Yvonne is, whoa, wow, gorgeous.
He writes beautiful pieces too, you know, like really his tunes. There's one is like My Melancholy Blue. No, it's called Melancholy Blue. And it's also somewhere on YouTube with, I play that with in this concert 2007 with the BDR big band, and and Paul was doing a solo, my husband. So very nice version. Yeah. So a lot of great musicians that I've worked with, but definitely one of the most beautiful experiences was to have worked with Bob Brookmeyer, I must say, and that was like a real yeah, magical moment in music for me.
Yeah, he was a musical hero for a lot of people.
Yeah. And the way that he worked with his band, he had his own orchestra with mainly European musicians, and called the New Art Orchestra, with actually a fantastic drummer, John Hollenbeck, in it.
Oh yeah.
Who's American. And I really loved this band, and it was amazing to see and to feel how he was listening to his band with so much love, and yeah, fantastic experience for me. One of the most impressive also, and he recorded really with the band in a circle, you know.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you can really see and tell that Maria Schneider has the whole feeling of she also worked a lot of you know, like in the circle, and yeah, you could really feel and see that she has a lot from from Bob as well, you know. So
I didn't realize that they did that. I really have had a lot of feelings and experiences with that over the years, you know, the positioning and this, because I never really liked being out in front of the band. You know, I liked
Okay.
being within the band, you know, or not necessarily deep in the band, but, you know, not
yeah,
miles away from the musician.
it's
It just
like Sheila
never
Jordan.
appealed.
Sheila Jordan, she's also standing in the line of the musicians, which I also really, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, and especially when you have this curved thing, like, I don't know if I told you, but I have a 7-piece vocal improv group, an a cappella group.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called Fish to Birds. And in our performances, like when we rehearse, we're usually sitting around, like literally in a circle, like around a table or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
And so when we go to play, to have us line up is just, it's such a weird feeling, you know. So we've played with various, you know, configurations of that. Also the Blue Whale, which was a fantastic international modern jazz club, basically. They had a very cool situation. They didn't have a stage per se. They had it was just one floor, you know. And so sometimes they would move the band, and the band would be in the middle of the whole
Yeah.
audience. That was a different feeling. It was really, really nice, really beautiful.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does a lot to the music where you stand and the acoustic. And I just heard, I forgot the name of this band. It was like a Canadian band, like young guys, and they were playing live exactly how you hear it. So the main singer, like the front singer, was very close miking, and the other guy was a little bit with more room, you know, and they were singing exactly as they, you know, want to sound. Exactly like really it was not like the sound engineer was doing the sound, but they were
Yeah.
really standing and singing with a distance how
Right.
they want to sound. So it
Yeah.
was wonderful band actually. It
Cool.
was not jazz, but it was like singer-songwriter from
Yeah.
Canada. I remember. that.
Yeah. Well, you know, I remember finding out Chick Corea had a plan that he sent ahead of how to stage the band. He discovered what he liked, and he made it a policy, and that's how he did it, no matter
Yeah,
where it was. which I always thought was a great idea, you know. I mean, of course, you might take into consideration, you know, whatever the acoustics, but still to have a starting place like that, I think it's a smart idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I always I know what you mean with standing in front of the band, you know.
Yeah.
It's like also with not with every song, I also would like to really move actually. Sometimes you want to really be in a text and you want to really put it there, but sometimes you want to be one of the guys or something.
Yeah.
So why not
Yeah.
move?
You know, speaking of, I brought up Sina E you know, a while ago, and the last time she was here was a really beautiful concert. It was she and two dear friends, Larry Kuntz on guitar and Josh Nelson on piano. You know, they're like the top players here. And they were very close together. And Cinna, of course, was basically in line with them. And it was just, it was so satisfying, you know, to hear and watch because she was, I mean, also because she's such a great musician.
Yeah.
But that feeling that also that elicited, you know, that we were watching the three of them, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
as one component. And
Yeah.
that was really quite nice.
I find it also very nice in jazz, like that you have that possibility, you know, that it's like three equal soloists that are, yeah,
Yeah,
communicating and
yeah, really nice. By the way,
yeah.
Judy Rafat is here and she said hi. Hi, Jude.
Sorry,
Judy
sorry.
Rafat, Judy Rafat is here. She said hello.
Oh, hi. Oh, that's so beautiful. It's so nice to share with you and knowing that people are watching and listening and that we are together, you know, in
Yeah,
this
I
moment.
know. I know. It
Really
kind of ties you
beautiful.
into the planet. Where, so here's another question I have for you.
Cathy, I think we don't have enough time.
I know,
We need to do it again sometime.
I
Yeah.
know, absolutely, absolutely. Um,
I love talking
so
to you.
I love talking to you too. You're a very, very great person, really nice person. If we lived near each other, we would be
Yeah,
having coffee and
yeah,
drinks a lot.
absolutely. I know, and I'm gonna visit you.
Okay, good. You can stay at my house.
Right. Thank you.
Sure.
Well, that's good. That's good to yeah.
Yeah, and I'll make a workshop for you.
Yeah, well, let's do that, you know. I
I'm
want to
ready.
come to LA. You know, one of the reasons is that I love to sing also the standards still, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, in America they have, of course, you have yeah, the deeper history with it, you know. And in Europe it's getting less and less, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's moving forward, right? Yeah. My question was my question was if you were playing with either a duo or a small group, do you prefer piano or guitar as the lead instrument? Just curious.
I have no preference. I have both, you know. I have
Uh-huh.
guitar and piano and
Yeah.
bass, you know, like the bass guitar,
Yes.
and mostly no drums. So until now, and but I decided to work for my own pieces. I'm gonna work also with drums now. So
Uh-huh.
actually, the last Fay Claassen album was 2018. It was like Luck Child. And
Uh-huh.
after that, I did two other projects. It was like one was with all Dutch compositions, and that was with the VDR Big Band. And after that, I had a pop album. It's called Close to You with this orchestra, you know, and with another like another producer, arranger that I work with than usually. And I really love doing that, you know, the beautiful pop songs um, One Day I'll Fly Away, and Close to You, and Fool on the Hill. And it's classic tunes and very, very known, but I really love doing them, you know. And it started actually with doing one song at 17 from Janis Ian, and I was just flashed out how good it felt to sing that, you know, and to really tell a story.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
another it's another way of approaching music.
yeah.
And the producer, Roland Jacobs, he said to me, like, we have to do a whole record. And I said, yes. And okay. And so that's it's my pop album.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm just
Poppy.
making a note to myself. I'm going to send you. I have a friend in Australia, Ingrid James, and she did a project a long time ago with that was what people are doing now, you know, like digital and sending it around from musician to musician all over the world. So she did it, and she did. Let's see, was it Close to You? I think it. Yeah, it's Close to You. Anyway, there were a few pop songs, and really, really cool. I mean, because it was cool because it was just cool. First of all, the writing and arranging was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool, and instrumentation, and her singing was real pure and nice. So I'm going to send you. I'm going to
Yeah,
send you that because I think you'd just enjoy hearing that. You know,
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Send me that. That's
another singer, a friend of mine, Sandy Cummings. She said she just saw YouTube with you on Mellotone with a big band.
yeah. That's I mean, I'm yeah, that's actually, yeah, it's a very great band, huh? I mean, it's jazz orchestra of the Concertgebouw. They're one of the main big bands in Holland that we have, you know, like we have the Metropole Orchestra, but it's with a large, you know, with strings. And there's several bands. There are more big bands. There's also a wonderful youth big band, but I mean, the York Jazz Orchestra of the Concertgebouw is a great one, of course.
Cool. Well, it's been 2 hours.
Ah,
I know,
you
strange,
see,
amazing. And
I had a wonderful time. I was like, I thought first it was like 1 hour, and then, okay, and then, oh, 2 hours. Oh my God, how are we gonna talk so long? But you know, it's not long because you play the music in between, you know. So
yeah, yeah. It's
wonderful.
fun. Yeah, I'm sure we could talk for more hours. But
Yeah,
anyway, thank you so much. And I'm so glad to have you on and to introduce you to some people who might not know you, and then to show you off to people who do know you. And yeah, it's just great. And sorry to do this while you're still on, but I'm just going to say who's coming.
yeah, sure.
So I have archives from Thursday to Sunday now. So I'll have Gary Meek, a great saxophone player, on Thursday. Friday, an incredible studio pianist named Mike Lang. Saturday, a great singer from Florida named Kate Reed. You'd probably like her. She's got a
Yeah.
real warm sound and swings her butt off. And then Sunday, a great piano player, Karen Hammock, who covers a lot of different styles really well, and Jody Segal, who is a great guitarist, singer-songwriter, kind of like Bonnie Raitt. So the
Yeah.
two of them work together a lot, and so I had them on together. And
Yeah.
just, I'll tell you, the live people next week is Mahesh Balasuria, who is an amazing pianist, kind of like a young version of Oscar Peterson, just crazy,
Oh,
crazy man. He's just like incredible player. Then a
Wonderful.
guitarist, Brad Rebuchin, and then Wednesday, a great singer from Argentina, Anita Robles. So
Wow.
I'll stop there, but anybody, if you want to see who's on the show, just go to my site and I keep up on who's coming. So
I'm definitely gonna follow this live stream because it's so refreshing, if you, and also thank you for inviting me. It's so wonderful to be able to tell stories, behind a record. It feels really good to do that sometime. Mostly you have like a small interview and you're not talking the whole day about yourself. So I'm really thankful to be able to talk with you about it.
that's really nice to hear. And yeah, I agree with you actually, because it's we have lifetimes of history, right? There's like all this, I don't know, it's, not specific, but when you're young or when you're in college or when you're whatever. And
Yeah.
there are so many great things that happen that we notice, that we experience, and
Yeah.
they just don't come up in conversation a lot, and
Yeah.
it's interesting even to us
Yeah.
to relive it, so I
Yeah.
hear what you're saying.
I feel also that we could talk many hours more. Also, even like this whole direction of the healing part of
Yeah,
music, and oh man, I think we could. Yeah, we can stay in contact, and we can do this again sometime if you want. And
yeah.
otherwise, I invite you on my live stream then sometime.
Okay. I've thought about this before, but maybe I can invite a few people on a Zoom to actually specifically talk about that subject,
Yeah.
And I've had some conversations that run really spiritual, and it's great. I really, that turns me on a lot, so
I
I
could tell that from your music.
thank you. Yeah, so maybe we can do that, like have a special,
Yeah,
special show.
I would love to do that. And yeah, so Cathy, thank you, and
Thank
wonderful to
you,
get to know
Faye.
you. And I wish you all the best, also good health, and that
Thank
things
you.
are going to move again, and that you can perform again,
Thank you.
and
Same to you.
yeah, exchange with the musicians, and that
Yeah.
things are getting rolling again. So
Yes. Yes. Same to you. Same to you. I'm
right,
sure everything's going to move that way relatively soon,
I
I
hope.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so too. So thank you for
You're
inviting
welcome.
me.
Thank you.
And here we hear each other soon, eh?
Okay.
Bye, Cathy.
Bye, Faye. Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody. Thank you for listening and watching.
Bye. Have a great night. Say hi to your husband for me.
I will. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.